Hello and welcome to another Field Focus. This week I want to talk a little bit about PR and what you can do for PR yourself. Obviously here at Brilliance Publishing, we're doing PR with you too. And, you know, through your press releases, through the author's voice, the expert's voice, through the magazine, you're getting opportunities to raise that profile and be seen in a number of different ways. But let's look at today and this week about what you can do. So today I want to talk about podcasts. So you have to really befriend social media. And you have to go into the different platforms and in the search bar, put in podcasts. Podcasts plus author, plus entrepreneur, plus or real life stories. But search on your different social media platforms for hosts of podcasts. Now, a lot of podcasts are free. Some people, they do it. Unknown caller. Oops. Some people, we're live. Some people, there's a charge, but we don't want to go near them at this stage. Depends on the platform. So actually, let's spend a wee bit of time about do you pay or do you not pay? Well, I would say it depends on who's the podcaster, who's their audience, and how much of an influence do they have. So you might decide if you want a really big audience and all that, it might be worth investing. But that investment could be a couple of $100, could be a bit more. It's usually somewhere between $200 and $500. It could be depending on who it is and depending on the audience. But equally, remember, there's a craft to being good on a podcast. It's like all types of public speaking. But let's talk about finding free podcasts. So there's lots of people across the social media platforms who will do podcasting for free because sometimes they're also growing their name and their brand and their visibility. But equally, you will find people who will interview you and it's your audience. So it goes back to understanding who you are, your brand, who's your brand audience, and finding those people who have got a similar audience that they speak to and they interview people on their podcast. So the thing about being successful, no matter who you are, you have to put in time and effort and sometimes money. Because remember, all of that is energy. You put the time in, you expend the energy, you do your research, you get friends to help you, you speak to people. And it's so important to use other people you know, because they might know somebody that you need to know. They might open a door for you. So for example, only this morning, I get introduced to a photographer from National Geographic. Now, this woman thought a good photographer would be of benefit to me. So it was one of those leveraging and opening doors of opportunity. So that's so we've been messaging today and we will have a conversation and, you know, I'm going to benefit him and he's going to benefit me. And that's what it's all about. So that's a photographer and we can talk about that another day. But we're talking about podcasters today. Every day we'll talk about a different PR opportunity. So PR is just profile raising. It stands for press release as well, but profile raising. And right now we're looking at profile raising through the medium of podcasting. Podcasting is one of the fastest growing mediums for getting noted. I am approached by a number of people, and I know there's going to be a price tag on it, but if they've got an audience that's going to benefit me as a publisher, then it's a numbers game. I'm going to be prepared to put in a certain amount of money. So I will have in my head what I'm prepared to spend. And if it's too much, then I'll go back to the drawing board and I'll go, well, maybe not today, but I won't rule it out ever, because never say never. Because I remember I would pay £30 or £40 in the beginning. Now I pay hundreds of pounds into thousands of pounds now for PR opportunities. Because you have to know what one client is worth to you, what it's worth. So if spending $1,000 is going to get you $8,000, it's worth $1,000. It's all a numbers game. So this is what you have to begin to think about. It's a lot to think about when you're trying to write a book and you're trying to do marketing, and then PR comes in and you've got to be here and you've got to be there. Well, the question then is, who do you need to become to be successful, and what is success for you? Who do you need to become to sell your book? Do you just want to sell them one at a time to a few people? That's fine. But you need to know why you're writing the book, who it's for, and what mission are you on? What's your mission? And it'll involve making a difference somehow, but you need to know that. So your homework for this week is to go and make a list of, let's say 10 podcasters that you can then link with and connect, and first of all, embark on a relationship. Sometimes they might go, I'm looking for people to talk on my show about, I don't know, mental health, about money mindset, about, I don't know, writing a book, about editing, about marketing books, about whatever it is, whatever your topic is, about loneliness, about death, about, divorce, whatever. Find those podcasters, because there's thousands. Find the ones for free that got a good audience. But here's the other thing about when you're starting out, and it happens a lot, and I did it. Everybody does it. We say yes to a lot of things because we need to hone our skill. We need to get better and better at what we're doing. So take a 15-minute podcast. I've had 5-minute podcasts, 10-minute podcasts. Take a podcast. I've had an hour podcast. They are a bit long for me personally, but, some people like them. But get into the habit of getting on people's podcasts and speaking and sharing and telling your story. Because number one, you'll start to hear the things you repeat and say. And remember, that's good, because you need to get that message clear, and it needs to be consistent. And you're always going to have a different audience. So just remember that the people haven't heard it before. So you might have podcasts here in the UK. You might want to go a bit more international. You might want to get interviewed in America, in India, I don't know, Middle East, whatever, Europe, South America. But you have to put a wee bit of effort in. Just do research. Use Google. Use social media. Find the podcasters in the area where your audience are hanging out. And that's leveraging other people's audiences. And of course, when you give a podcast, they'll ask, how do people get in contact with you? Be clear how you want people to connect with you, whether it's through a social media channel. Do you want them to email you? How do you want to do it? It's probably easier through either visiting your website or a social media channel rather than emailing, because that involves quite a bit for people to email. Whereas if you give a link and they can just click it and take you to LinkedIn, Instagram, wherever you want, wherever you hang out, then that's better. and acknowledge that they've connected with you. And always ask people, oh, how did you connect with me? Where did you hear? What did you see? Was it a post? Was it an interview? What was it? Start being aware of how people are coming to you. It's important. So profile raising is about visibility. It's about having that clear, strong message that you want to share with the world. And it's part of your book. So let them know you're an author. Let them know you're writing a book. Let them know you've just published a book. Let them know what the publishing date is, if you know that. Let them know about you. Be vulnerable. Share parts of your personal story, as well as what you want to get across in business. What's your legacy? What's your philosophy? So podcasts. So that's your task today. Okay, I'm not going to ask you to find 10 in one day. I'm going to ask you to find 3, because you know I love the power of 3. Today, find 3 podcasters that you can reach out to and ask to be on their show. So that's it for today. Easy. Reach out, find 3 podcasters and get yourself booked on 1. So out of the 3, get yourself booked on 1. And who knows, you could get 3. But say to yourself, it's going to happen. Be positive, keep an open mind, and make it happen. Make it happen. You're in control. Everything in my life I've created, I've made it happen. Because I've reached out, I've spoken to people, I haven't said no. I've walked through doors of opportunity. Some are better than others, but it's all practice. It's all allows you to become great at what you do. So there we have it. Okay, so I want you to let us know what podcast you're going to be in, and then we'll listen out for you, and we'll listen to you telling your story or sharing about your book. Okay, so this is Brenda. Till the next time, be brilliant. Use that voice. Much love, and to the pip.